Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Shotsuki service for the month of November. I'd like to welcome all the families here and there to be able to gather and participate in this service. Our chairpersons for today are the Sloth family. Made it back just in time to help us with this service, and as I've mentioned, the whole family really appreciates the significance that we do these Shotsuki services and honoring the family members that we have lost. So it's very touching to them, and they really appreciate that aspect of our Jodo Shinshu tradition. So Sadie and Sho, Mama Sho, and baby Tsuki are all here joining us today. You'll notice they still wearing their masks and serving as a reminder for each of us to continue to be safe and careful with the pandemic, and also with smoke continuing to linger in the air. The Shotsuki service order, we will have the reading of the Hyōgyakumon followed by the Shotsuki names, and at that time, please come up here and at your homes to offer incense or whatever you have set up to participate in this aspect of the service. Then I'll go up to my seat on the Onaijin to chant the SanBuJo and the Amida Kyo. And I'll come back for our Dharma message. So with that, we will begin. Please join me in Gassho for the Hyōgyakumon. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of November, members of the Buddhist temple of Alameda have reverently come before Amida in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages: Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, 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 Namanda. These are the Shotsuki names for November. Akahoshi, Kirk. Arai, Hanzo. Doi, Mitsuyo. Fukuda, Sakumatsu. Fukuma, Senzuchi. Fujino, Infant, Kimiko. Furuno, Fujino. Handa, Infant, Julian. Hashimoto, Kyo. Honda, Yoshitomo. Hoshi, Hatsuko. Izekoe, Tomitaro. Imazumi, Chiono. Imazumi, Kinkichi. Imazumi, Shizuye. Imura, Sakunosuke. Kakimoto, Yoshio, James. Kamiji, Yoshio. Kato, Infant, Iwa. Kitajima, Kinhei. Kobashi, Kisomatsu. Kodama, Motokichi. Kumagai, Misao. Maeda, Futami. Manville, Kazuko. Matsumoto, Katsusaburo. McFarlane, William. Minami, Tsunezo. Miyazaki, Infant, Masako. Muramoto, Infant, Rei. Nakamura, Kyoto. Nakano, Dick Hideaki. Nakayama, Kakunojo. Nakayama, Tane. Narahara, Dorothy. Nishimoto, Wakanosuke. Nomiyama, Masano. Ogami, Matsu. Ogi, Matsuye. Otsuka, Frank. Ruiz, Al. Saito, Infant, Yayako. Sakamoto, Zenichi. Sato, Goro. Sueyasu, Torakichi, Sugimoto, Midori, Takagi, Ume, Terao, Reverend A.U., Terazawa, Infant, Yukie, Tsuchiya, Kishiro, Tsuchiya, Shigeru, Ushijima, Seisuke, Wada, Frank, Yamamoto, Susumu, Yamamoto, Yoshinori, Yamaoka, Alice, Yamashita, Moriji, Yumikezuri, Chotaro. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of November. If there are additions or corrections, please notify the office. Now we'll have the SanBuJo and Amida Kyo half. Namanda, 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 Namanda. 者へ国技十吉行六音東大美空主千里百五十人空海勢大やらかん主所知識長老シャリオマカモケンネマカカショマカカセネマカクチラリハタスリアンダガナンダアナンダラゴラヨモンダ大民ズルハラダカルダイマカコヒンナアクラアヌルダノゼト将来弟子よしょさまかさ40シリオジイッタボサケンダカダイボサ上昇人ボサヨニョゼト将来ボサ有釈大カニント無料商店大祝二次文語長老シャリオ遊税裁法果十万六運動世界の和極楽合同文語阿弥陀根源在説法シャリオ移動学校名医極楽合国修上無祝誕生奨楽公明極楽シャリオ極楽国道七十何順七十ラモ七十五十改正司法修相異名成功異国名和極楽シャリオ極楽国道中法地薬毒水十万五中死体順に本社不死支援街道今後ルリハリゴジョ小老各役員今後ルリハリ社交釈州名の離言直視非中年芸大名者理常識証拠王式陽子釈式釈光逆式白光微妙高血シャリオ極楽国土長寿良性空楽所今度シャリオ異部国土上差天学本時時中夜六時二遊曼荼羅系合国修上上位小丹各位英国上中病系空用他法十万六分即位直時検討本国本直行業シャリオ極楽国土上寿良税空力将軍仏師シャリオ異国上修十奇妙雑式市長薬国弱法務シャリ下領民が無名市長小州長長や六時水和芸音合音延長合根合力七宝大文八正道文行税東法行動修上門税恩利開始年分年法年相シャリ法領物意市長実税裁法少々少位社が異部国土幕州シャリオ合部国土上務三幕道市業他教実税少州長国領本線流園芸少佐シャリオ部国土未付水道商法五十九法ラモ微妙二妙百戦十角同時空差門税四者開示年上年分年法法 So she shariho obu kokuro shoju nyose kudoku shogon Good morning again, everyone. Welcome again to this Shotsuki service. I'd like to begin this message with a reading of one of the wasans. Please join me in Gassho. Those who reach the pure land of happiness return to this evil world of the 5 defilements, where, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namo Amida Kyo, Namo Amida Kyo, Namo Amida Kyo, Namanda, Namanda. So this wasan is mentioning that after going to the Pure Land, it is said that sentient beings return to this world to assist others to get to the Pure Land. And it becomes coming and going, this movement of compassion, working towards attainment of the Pure Land, and then coming back to assist others to also get to the Pure Land. So no one stays there resting, but this movement of compassion is ongoing. So I wanted to tie this into a story, recent story from a couple weeks ago, when I went to the Sprint phone store to get some more memory put into my phone so we won't run out of space to do these videos. And so I was trying to get there short of time and hurrying over there to squeeze this into other errands I had to do. So I hurried over to the Sprint store and I took the wrong exit. So a little bit frustrated, so I made another turn and went back over the overpass to get over there, and finally pulled into their allotted space close to them, and hoping that they wouldn't be too busy, maybe not only giving me the key to the phone, but also maybe they could help me to install it as well. So just before I'm putting on my mask to go out there, and just before I'm ready to go out, my phone rings, and so I get this call, and there's another delay, so I get frustrated. So I take my mask back off to answer the phone, and I'm talking, and it's from Japan. And so this person introduces himself. He says, "Oh, I'm Ryo Chikata, and I work for NHK in Japan." So kind of surprising, and so yes, how can I help you? And so starts to tell me about his project. They're working on this thing. I think they have a regular show, and they explore different names, last names of Japanese, and the show is tracing them and where they went, and upcoming is one on Tanaka and Yamamoto, and he's tracing how they came from Japan to come to America, our Issei pioneers, and where they ended up and what their story was. And so he's asking me about this name that he noticed was on our website, and it's on our bell that we ring before Sunday service. And he's asking me about this Tsurukichi Tanaka. And so he said he noticed that mentioned on the website in 1929, the bell was put up in our temple. So he knew all about our Alameda temple by exploring our website and trying to trace where this Tsurukichi Tanaka might have gone during his time in coming from Japan to America. So it becomes a kind of an intriguing story, but I didn't really know anything about what's going on in 1929. We always notice the names that are on the bell. People mention the names of the bell on the bell and the dates on there. And it's always a tremendous story. And all our temples, people donated perhaps to be able to afford the bell, and they have it cast in Japan and brought over to this country, and to find the proper place to hang it. Some have stories of their bells being stolen or disrupted and things like this. Fires and all kinds of things happen to our temples. And so this one got traced to Alameda. And so I started looking at the names on the bell, looking at the Tanaka name in our list of Shotsuki names. And I noticed about 4 or 5 Tanakas through the years, but none of them are this Tsurukichi. And probably that makes sense because he didn't just stay here. The story was he came to the Bay Area, worked in the salt mining, harvesting companies that we see below the San Mateo Bridge and things of that nature. And he learned the process of how they harvest this salt, and he wanted to do this. He went back to Japan to start a salt harvesting company over there, but he was not successful. And then he came back over here and settled again. So the dates of his existence, they know of someone with the same name that came about that time, and I don't know if he snuck on a boat, but he was 12 years old, so he came on a boat to come to America for the first time and made his way here, worked at the salt company, went back to Japan, and then he returned again to live in the Bay Area. So the story did not conclude. We don't know if that was the same name, Tsurukichi Tanaka, as the one that is connected to our temple, but maybe our grandparents might have known him, might have welcomed him, might have worked with him here at this temple. And just by receiving this telephone call from Japan, sitting in front of the Sprint store, it's like our whole history, our temple bell comes to life. For me, they were just names from the past, and I didn't know them, and I could not really relate to them. But when he tells me this story, that all the way from Japan, they're trying to find relatives of Mr. Tanaka, whether they resettled in Japan or whether they went on in this country, and it all becomes very, very close, very, very real, of these pioneers coming from Japan and making their connections to other Sangha members, making their connections to the various temples, and in this case to our temple, the Buddhist temple of Alameda. So when we see that, all the more, particularly at our Shotsuki service, when we reflect back upon our families, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, we see how this interconnected reality reveals itself. And so just like this Wasan that I read, if this is the person, or even if it is not, making contributions to this temple to be able to afford the bell that signals. And so in that way, every time we ring the bell, his efforts are acknowledged to bring the Dharma to the next people and the next two people. And those people are we. Every Sunday, hearing that bell and all this interconnection marching down through time, going up to the Pure Land, returning to the Pure Land. The bell ringing is the movement of compassion, calling us to awaken to the truth and we continue this process, working towards achieving the Pure Land, getting to the Pure Land, awakening to this infinite reality, and then doing our part to share this with others, to welcome others into this process of awakening, ever awakening, continuation of process. Not like we get there, we always continue to awaken and reawaken and to assist others along the way. So this person, Tsurukichi Tanaka, making his way here, helping us receive this bell, impacting all our lives, touching our lives here today. So I thought that was an incredible story to just come across this telephone call from Japan. So please join me in Gassho. I'll read this wasan one more time and we can all reflect upon it. Those who reach the Pure Land of Happiness return to this world of the 5 defilements, where like the Buddha Shakyamuni, benefit sentient beings without limit. Namo Amida Kyo, Namo Amida Kyo, Namo Amida Kyo, Namanda, Namanda. Please come up in Oshoko here at your homes as you have set up to do. I really appreciate you all being here at this service. So we'd like to ask you to come up Oshoko and we'll conclude this service. Thank you very much.